Hey guys, my name is Karl Golden, and excitingly today we're going to be checking out the brand new DynIR pack by 2Notes, which is called Chug Life. In this pack there are 10 different speaker cabinets from the likes of ENGL, Fortin, Morg, Orange, Pete Thorn, Mesa Boogie, Revv. So much of our tones as guitar players come from speakers and our speaker cabinets. So this is a really cool pack for any of you metalheads out there who want to get chugging away. Okay, so let's talk about my signal chain today. I have my guitar, which is a baritone guitar by Chapman Guitars. This is going into the Victory amp, which is the Kraken. So a very metally amp, a very metally guitar. And then from the speaker output, 8 ohms, we're going into Torpedo Captor X, which is an awesome product by 2Notes. I love this thing. I get so many incredible sounds out of this. So this contains all of my virtual cabinets, my DynIRs, and then from the output of this, I've got 2 XLRs, so a stereo output going into my DAW or into my interface, which is a Focusrite Claret 8 Pre. And then the sound's been recorded in Logic Pro X. Essentially, that is my rig. I do actually have in the effects loop, I've got a Canyon delay pedal to show you some lead stuff and give a bit more ambience. So at the beginning of this video, there was a track that I wrote. This is an original piece of music that I wrote specifically with these 10 different captures, and it was so much fun. It made it so easy to get into that chug metal style with the Kraken combined with these different DynIRs. I'm pretty sure I used all 10 of them, maybe it was 9, but I tried to fit in some lead parts and some rhythm parts and try to chug as much as I could to really get into the spirit of the pack. With each of these 10 DynIR cabs, there is 8 microphones that you can use or choose from, which gives you so many tonal options. It's crazy. And of course, not only that, you can move the axis of the microphones to where you want and a distance, which we'll look at later on. And the tones you can get is unreal. So you can really dial in your sound. Now, to show you visually how I edit each of these DynIRs, I've got the Torpedo 2Notes remote here, which is a piece of software that connects directly to your Torpedo Captor X or whatever 2Notes hardware you have. And this is connected via USB-C to micro USB on the back of this. So I can change the cabinet here, I can change the EQ, I can enhance the thickness, brilliance, body, I can add some reverb, and I can change all the different microphones. So you've got 2 different microphones, A and B, and you've got your 8 different microphones to choose from. You can do the distance, the axis. There is so much you can change in this piece of software. It's crazy. I want you to also understand as well that you don't necessarily have to buy a Torpedo Captor X or have a valve amp to use these DynIRs. You could just download the free software Wall of Sound from 2Notes, and you can use your favorite plugins. I don't know, let's say I like the Slow 100 Neural DSP plugin. You can turn off the cab simulator and then load up the Wall of Sound, and then that creates your cabs. And whatever cabs you've bought, maybe you bought this pack, you can use that with your favorite plugins. Okay, so let's look at the first cab that's included in the pack. This is the ENGL E412XXL, and it sounds like this. Pretty damn heavy. Okay, now let me talk a little bit about the remote before we get deeper into the tones. So, as I mentioned earlier, with this controller, also with the Wall of Sound, you get the same options. You can edit your EQ. We have an enhancer here. So you've got your body, thickness and brilliance. You can add some reverb. Now this is awesome. So with my Kraken, there is no reverb. So I can add some reverb, which is a really cool thing to have. Let's turn that off for now. Now, when I go to the channel 2, it's quite loud. You also get the option of a gate. You can do a soft and hard gate. So that's pretty cool. and especially cool for us metal musicians who want to really get those high gain sounds. Okay, so moving on to the mics, we have two microphones, microphone A and B. So microphone A is a dynamic 57, then microphone B is a ribbon Fat 2. So if you click on these, you get 8 different options for either mic A or B. So you can change the decibel level here. You can move the microphone to the back or the front. You can move the axis of the microphone and the distance. So there are loads of tonal options with all of these features. You've also got voicing down here, space, output. And as I was mentioning before, you don't necessarily have to have a valve amp or a Torpedo Capt X or any of the other hardware. You can just download the Wall of Sound and use it with your plugins. And you can buy these different cabs, you can buy this pack and then apply them to your different plugins. Anyway, let's move back to this. So let's go through some sounds. This is the ENGL E412XXL. Let's add on some reverb. So that's lots of gain. Let's take back the gain. And another really cool thing is there is a tuner. So I can tune up my baritone guitar. It's really hot in the studio this evening. And of course you can mess around with the different microphones, but ENGL always sounds awesome for metal. So that's your first cabinet. Let's move on to the second one. So next up we have the Fortin custom diffuser. I'm going to keep the same microphones on all of them just to have some consistency. I'm going to leave on the reverb. Let's have a listen. Let's put it on gain 2. Sounds pretty heavy, man. Let's put it on gain 1. Let's try some lead with this bad boy. I'm going to put on the Canyon delay. I love metal. Okay, so that's the second cab. That sounds pretty sick as well. Let's move on to the third cab. So the third cab is the Labo V30. Let's have a go. These all sound so awesome so far. Chugalific, if you will. Next up, we've got the Morg 212 Vint Studio. Cool. Let's get rid of some of that reverb. I tell you what, these are some really inspiring sounds, and that's what you want. So that is the Morg 212. Okay, so our fifth cab is the orange PPC 412 Vintage 30. So most of these are 2x12 cabs. Sorry, 4x12 cabs. I think we've got a couple of 2x12. But yeah, this is the orange. Let's try it with some reverb. Very cool. Okay, orange are renowned for their awesome heaviness. Let's move on to something I'm quite excited about trying out. I did, of course, use this at the track at the beginning, but this is the PC M75. So this is a Pete Thorn cab. So this should sound pretty sick. Some legato on a baritone, there we go. So yeah, the Pete Thorn cab sounds sick as predicted. So let's move on to the sixth one. So next up we've got the Rand RD112, which is a 1x12 cab. Lots of different sounds to play with. Okay, so that's the Rand RD112, 112. Next up, we've got the Rand Trasher. So this is now a 4x12. Let's leave the reverb on and crank that gain. So next up we've got Mesa Boogie Cab Recto Standard OS Slant WTE. That's a mouthful, but here we go. So I use this one for the solo, I believe. So let's do some lead stuff with this, because I like Mesa Boogie and lead stuff. Love a Mesa Boogie. Okay, so on to our very last one, which is the Revv 4x12 vintage. Let's get rid of my delay. Okay, it's the last cab simulator. Let's put some sweet picking in. And that concludes the 10 cab simulations. There is so much to explore in this pack, especially for the metal players out there. I highly recommend checking it out. All the details will be below in the description. I've been Karl Golden. I hope I've entertained you in some way and inspired you to pick up your guitar and make music, because that's what it's all about. I'll see you in another video very soon. Take care, guys.
Oh, I feel it now. I can't make you smile.